Let's get started. Morning, gents. We're looking at, of course, the life of Jacob we have for a few weeks here. And we're now at a point in our study where we've spent this big investment looking at this man's life, and I've created a sheet with 31 of Jacob's actions, and we are plugging those, we're piecing those together in a way to look at his growth and development as a man throughout his life. And we're plugging those events into a 7-stage model that we're looking at this morning, specifically the second week, stage 4. We'll move on next week. But by way of review, stage 4 is the text that we looked at is Genesis 31:31, and it's where Jacob finally, in his life, he comes to a place of honest self-assessment by verbalizing his fear to his brother, to his father-in-law Laban. He says, Laban says, "Why did you run away like this?" And he says, "I was afraid." So that's the key verse there, 31:31. Jacob states his fear. And the key concern of this stage is, this stage 4 is a transitional stage. It is really the beginning of transformation in a person's life. Stages 1 through 3 are very self-focused. I've got this little phrase, stage 1 through 3. Stages 1 through 3 is all about me. And it's about my own safety and security. It's about being love and acceptance. And it's about my building an identity and esteem. And it's not bad. Everyone has to go through this. It's important to do it. But as we are called in Christ, we are called to lay those things down. We are called to lay that identity down. And in order to lay something down, something has to be built. That's stages 1 through 3. 4 is a transition and that first indicator that transformation is occurring in a person's life is this idea of embracing the negative. The negative is something we reject, we fight, we push it aside, we ignore it, we deny it. We'll do anything except embrace that. And I know that that's a bit confusing. We're going to look at what that looks like this morning via some video clips, and then have some time to discuss what that looks like. So we did a comparison last time. We looked at stages 1 through 3, again, self-focused. But then in stage 4, this greater pull that we've been talking about, this pull, because we're in the image of God, is now has more power. And we get to a stage in life where we say, "Oh, there's got to be something more. That my efforts and my what I have built in life has just not worked. It's a time of frustration." And I believe it's authored, and who's behind it is God Himself in His love, pulling us to a much larger scope in life, and that's what this greater pull indicates here. I know you can't see this, but I'll do this. Now you can see it to some degree. This is the whole stage 4 piece in this sheet that I've put together, where Jacob is deceived by his brother or father-in-law Laban in chapter 29, and then Jacob builds a life, and he's got 2 wives, and then 4 wives. Oh my goodness! And there's angry and jealousy, and he's caught in the middle of this whole childbearing war, and he's struggling in life. He is responding to the blows that all of us in this room have, except we don't have 4 wives. But the bickering and the interpersonal issues of family and of life, he's involved in, and it culminates down here when he leaves, and then he's overtaken by Laban. Stage 4, he reveals his fear. He talks about that. So that I was afraid. So then finally, just stage 4. We built this model here that stage 4 over here says a deep sense of loss due to an emerging awareness that the world that I have built is simply not working anymore. For the first time, true self-assessment takes place. This is disconcerting, painful, resulting in disillusionment, oftentimes depression. Over here. We look at it as a negative thing, but it's really a positive thing. And our ability to embrace that will really determine the outcome of where we go next. The seed coat. And we talked about the seed coat, that we build this coating around our inner being to protect. We're adapting. We're not receiving what we think we need, and so we build it ourselves. Well, that's beginning to break down. The adaptive self is beginning to lose its grip. See, it's starting to fade. However, the process is seldom linear, but characterized by dramatic swings from turmoil to trust and from terror to peace. So this is a dark time. This could be called what, in our culture, the midlife crisis, moving into a stage 4. And so we have been looking at a video. We're going to spend the rest of the time actually looking at some video and discussing it. This is a review of from the movie Company Men, and it's a great movie. It's one of my favorites. All-star cast. Bobby Walker, who's one of the main characters. The setting of this movie is the corporate misuse of funds. You know, the whole thing that was introduced by the whole Enron meltdown, excessive use. People losing their jobs, this dramatic downsizing, and so this movie is about a group of people who have lost their jobs and how they are dealing with this. One character, of course, is Bobby Walker, and he's a guy that's used to a 6-figure income. He drives a Porsche. He has a family. He's used to being in control, and he loses his job. So I'm going to show this quick clip that you've already seen, and it's early in his stages, right after he loses his job, and we'll look at him briefly, and then we're gonna go on and look at his process in transition. So somebody could turn that light off.
Millionaire Boys Club. How's the plotting going? Warren Buffett still safe on top of the Fortune 500 list?
How's the job search going, bud?
Good, actually. Good. They're out there.
Mr. Connors, your group's on the first tee.
Let's go.
Mr. Walker, can I speak here for a moment?
Hey, what the hell's going on? I just got thrown off the course of the club.
Keep your voice down.
We haven't paid the dues since October?
Yeah, I'm paying a lot of things.
I look like a fucking deadbeat.
This is real, Bobby, okay? This is happening to us. You are wandering around like you're in some sort of a date and you're playing golf. You getting your Porsche detailed?
Maggie, I need to look successful, okay? I can't just look like another asshole with the resume.
You are just another asshole with a resume.
Aren't wives tender?
Yes.
I cut him a check for the balance.
Cancel it.
No.
Can't afford it.
No.
No. Well, let's turn that back on just for a minute. But, this, I think most of you have seen that clip, but I wanted to introduce it. I can so identify with Bobby in that no. I've had so many times in my life where no. You know, do you know what I'm talking about? Where you clamp down, and their world is dramatically changing. And Maggie, his wife, is much more in tune with the reality. She actually, you didn't know this, but she went back to work. She was, she was at home. They've got, I think just one son, and but she's gone back to work as a nurse. She's got a job. He's out looking for a job. He says, but as we saw him there, he was on the golf course, and he's attempting to put on this persona of how he thinks he needs to be. And this is what I would say, men, is our natural state. We all human beings have some level of persona that has to be, by the grace of God, broken down. That seed coat, that persona is the seed coat, the mask that we all wear that looks, we've got to be successful. And we know it when conflict comes up and something inside us raises and we say, no, he would not accept it. That is rejecting the negative. That's what it looks like. That's rejecting the negative, yes.
It's amazingly pure driven. I mean, you don't create this out of nothing. It's created by the people you surround yourselves with who also don't want to admit they're struggling. And so there's standards they expect of you and you expect of them.
Yes, very good.
And the same thing with your children. Your children will not do it. Well, if it was my kid, I'd do this. Well, no, they do it. But that's they want to live tough. And it's amazing how many people that
So
respond to children in bad ways because they're cared so much about what their peers thought and more than what they felt.
yeah, and so we build communities like this, and we reinforce the mask.
Yes.
I couldn't agree more.
Or we'll lose the community.
Yeah. So the whole idea of God's grace and the transitional times that happen through a stage 4 experience is the removal of the mask, the breaking down of the seed coat, and the indicator of stage 4 is the ability to embrace the negative. Bobby is not there. But let's now look at the second clip where I've weaved together short clips to hopefully show a progression in this guy's life. And I'm not going to show the whole thing. I'm just going to show, we're going to pick it up next week and show the conclusion. But I'm going to show it up to a point, and then we'll do an activity with that. So yes, thank you. Okay, here's Bobby in transition. So let's watch it.
Why don't we say grace so the kids can stop?
This is Thanksgiving.
Okay. Carson, would you do the honors?
Dear God, thank you for the food and for letting us be together on Thanksgiving and for everybody being okay. And please help my dad find a job so he won't be unhappy all the time. Amen.
Okay.
He's been hiding it.
It's one.
It's a nice table, Fred.
Thank you.
Things get tough. I could always use some extra help this winter.
Hanging drywall.
Yeah, there'd be lots of work. 4,000 square feet, gutting the place.
Thanks, Jack. I don't exactly see myself pounding nails, though. Appreciate it.
Your husband's such a dick.
I should have been honest with you about the club, but you haven't been honest with me.
I'm not gonna need these, all right? I think we have a little rummage
You
sale.
need to get a job. Any job. I can't do this alone, Bobby.
I know, I'm out there playing golf. In 2 weeks, I won't be able to support my family.
Things are gonna get great again. We can get through this.
Things aren't gonna be great again, okay? I'm trying to get a job. I've been out there every day for 3 months trying to get a job. I haven't had one off. I've been to everybody we know, and a lot of people I know, and I have begged. I fucking begged for a lead, anything. There's thousands of new MBAs out there. No mortgage, no kids, work 90-hour work weeks for nothing. You want to honestly, Maggie? I'm a 37-year-old unemployed loser who can't support his family.
You are going to find a job working for people who know how lucky they are to have you.
When did it all go to shit?
Yes, it turned to shit. You have Drew and Carson and parents and me. Okay, you have me.
I need a job, Jack.
Too thin. Add another sack to the mix.
Hey, you want to come down for dinner?
I want you to take your gun and shoot me. Just shoot me.
Oh, let me see. Yeah, let me get the nails for him.
I hate your brother. I fucking hate him. I don't think I can go back.
Sure you can.
All tucked in? Yeah, Dad. I couldn't wait to get out of this house. My parents, neighborhood, church. I was gonna be the CEO.
Okay, let's stop it there. I was going to be a CEO. So what I'd like to do is let's have some fun with this, and for the next 10 minutes or so. Your turn. In groups of 4, just right where you are. Describe what's happening in Bobby's life, from your perspective. What are his challenges? What are his challenges? And then look at the other side. What are his resources through this? In what ways do you see him embracing the negative? That's really the core of what these segments are about. This idea. I want to give you a picture of what that looks like, embracing the negative. In what ways do you see that occurring? And then what aspects of Bobby's story can you most relate to in your journey? So let's spend the rest of the time doing that. And then I'll get us back together. I'd like to hear what your table talk has been. So we'll about 25 after, we'll get back together. So have some fun with it.
Any procedure?